kiddos! Today we're going to read chapter 4 of our Junie B. Jones story. So when we left off, Junie B. sang Jingle Bells in a really funny way. She put May's name in it and said something that wasn't very nice. And May got so upset, she ended up tattling on Junie B. anyway. And Mr. Scary was pretty unhappy about it. So he's going to write a note home to both their parents, telling them that they're having a hard time listening and following directions. All right. So this chapter is called Going Last. Wednesday. Dear first grade journal, Mother and Daddy were not good sports about the note. They said it was not funny to throw someone off a sleigh. That made me laugh all over again. I got sent to my room for a timeout. Grown-ups do not understand humor. From Junie B., first grader. I put down my pencil and I glared my eyes at May's head. She did not look up from her journal. I know you're staring at me, Junie Jones, but I don't care that we got notes sent home, she said. My mother was proud of me. In fact, she said that you deserved to get tattled on. I glared harder. Sometimes, if you glare hard enough, you can melt people's heads. I saw that on a movie commercial once. What do you think, boys and girls? Can you melt somebody's head by glaring? Probably not. It was PG-13, I believe. I kept squinting and glaring, but May's head did not melt. Finally, I rested my eyes. I will try to melt her again at lunchtime. Just then, Mr. Scary stood up at his desk, and we put our journals away. Boys and girls, today is the day for our visit to the holiday gift shop in the media center. Remember? He said. I sent a notice about it home with your parents last week. He smiled. Today, we will just be looking at all the gifts, he said. Then, on Friday, we'll go back with our money and we'll buy the things we want. So they have a Christmas gift shop in their school where they can look at what's available and then they can bring back money to buy gifts for their family and friends. It's a little bit like how at school we have the book fair where we get to check out the books and see what's available and we can write down our wish list and then we can come back and buy the books that we like. I waved my hand all around. Guess what, Mr. Scary? Guess what? My mother said I get to spend $1 whole on every person in my family. And that adds up to $5 entire. I said. Lucille raised her hand. I can spend all the money in the world, she said. I'm rich. She stood up and fluffed herself. My family has more money than you can throw a stick at. Mr. Scary stared at her a real long time. Yes, well, fortunately, we don't need to be rich to shop at the gift shop, Lucille, he said at last. Everything there is very affordable. Does everyone know what affordable means? I do, I called out. Affordable means cheap. My Grandpa Frank Miller loves cheap. Sheldon jumped up. Hey, my grandpa loves cheap too. My grandma calls him Old Cheap Ned. Mr. Scary did a chuckle. Before we go to the gift shop, we're going to draw names for our secret Santa gift party. That way, you'll be able to look for your secret Santa gifts while you're down there too, he said. We've been talking about this party all week. Can anyone tell me the most important rule about being a secret Santa? Room 1 shouted out the rule together. You must keep it a secret! So boys and girls, I don't know if you know what Secret Santa is, but it's a game where you each put your name in and it gets drawn out. And whoever's name you grab, that's who you're going to buy gifts for, except they don't know it. So you buy them gifts, and then at the end, when you finally have your exchange, you find out who your Secret Santa is. So it's a fun game. It's a lot of families do it. Mr. Scary did a thumbs up. Yes, excellent. After you pick your name today, you must keep the name a secret. He said, if you don't keep it a secret, then you're not really a secret Santa, are you? After that, he carried around a basket with everyone's names in it, and all of the children closed their eyes and they picked a name. Only too bad for me, because I am in the very last seat of the very last row. And so when Mr. Scary finally got to me, there was only one dumb name left in the whole entire basket. Who do you think it is? Who do you think Junie B is going to have to buy a present for? Make a prediction. All right, let's see if you're right. And here is the dumbest part of all. She kind of has a bad attitude, doesn't she, boys and girls? My teacher pretended I should be happy about it. Congratulations, Junie B. Jones, he said. You have the honor of choosing the final name. I drummed my fingers, very annoyed. Okay, see, one name left is not actually called choosing, I said. One name left is called take it or leave it, mister. I crossed my mad arms. I hate being in this seat, Mr. Scary. I hate it. I get all the bad stuff back here, I said. Even on the very first day of school, I got only crayons that were already used. Mr. Scary looked up at the ceiling. Yes, Junie B, I know that. We all know that, he said. You mention it every time we have to color. I looked at some of my friends. Did I mention that my red crayon wasn't even pointy? 'Cause it wasn't, you know. My red crayon was already roundy, said Lenny. Yes, you told us that already. I drummed my fingers some more. Did I mention that my greenie was broken in half? I asked. My greenie was a teensy little stubby, said Jose. See, you told us that too. Mr. Scary handed me the last name. Look, right now, someone in this room is counting on you to be their secret Santa, Junie B, he said. So you really need to read that name now. I did a sigh. Then I slid down in my chair real glum and I read the name. If you can read day and you can read play, you should be able to read this person's name. She got May! Oh no. And that is the end of that chapter. So, when we come back later this week, we're going to read the chapter called Elf Ladies, and it is chapter 5. All right, have a great day. Thank you for listening. Bye, kiddos.